Hello, everybody. Tate Davis here with a sort of a rant type thing here for you. This is a video that I've been wanting to do for a while now, but I just haven't gotten around to it because I'm such a forgetful 21-year-old. Some overplayed songs that I never need to hear again in my life. I'm a person who listens to radio quite frequently, terrestrial radio. I interned for a terrestrial radio station last summer. One of the greatest experiences of my life. One of the radio stations I interned for, great DJs, God love it. Was a little bit different than all the other terrestrial rock radio stations in Chicago, in the Chicagoland area, but still played a handful of tunes that, in my mind, are overplayed to death and that I never need to hear again. And it's kind of sad for me to admit this because these are great songs. It's just I've heard them so many times, and I'm a very tolerant person from hearing the same song over and over again. And I'm just gonna rattle off a couple here on the top of my head. I don't have a list or anything like that. There's many more. Leave your overplayed radio songs you never need to hear again in the comment section below. I'm just gonna rattle off some here for you. So this is one that I know the biopic just came out in November. I love Queen. I think it's a brilliant song. I think it's one of the greatest songs of all time. It's overplayed to death and I never need to hear it again. Of course, I'm talking about Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm sorry. I know that ever since that movie came out, that song has been the greatest song. It's been seen as the greatest rock song of all time. I'm sorry. I still think it's great. If I never heard Bohemian Rhapsody again in my life, I would not care one way or the other. I'm sorry. I love Queen. I do. I think Freddie Mercury is a brilliant songwriter, and he was brilliant for writing that song, but I never need to hear Bohemian Rhapsody again. And I hate to say it, but We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions are not far behind in that department. Moving on to Guns N' Roses here. And yes, Appetite for Destruction is a great album. I don't dislike Guns N' Roses. I used to love Guns N' Roses, and now I don't know. I've heard these three songs off the Appetite for Destruction album so much now, it's just making me not want to listen to it as much anymore. And I'm talking about Welcome to the Jungle, Paradise City, and Sweet Child of Mine. Oh my God, that is probably the worst out of all three of them. If I never heard Sweet Child of Mine again, I would not be offended at all. If I heard that guitar riff, immediately changing the station, which is sad because again, Appetite for Destruction is a legendary album by a great band. If I'm listening to Guns N' Roses, I'm just going to go to the GNR Lies album and the Use Your Illusion albums. Maybe the Spaghetti Incident, but never need to hear. And plus, I'll listen to Night Train, I'll listen to You're Crazy, I'll listen to My Michelle, Rocket Queen. All the other songs on Appetite for Destruction, I'd rather listen to than those three. I'm sorry. Like I said, this is just my opinion for me. There are people that may never get tired of these songs, and to you, all power to you. And like I said, I'm a very tolerant person when it comes to overplayed songs. But these are just, like I said, these are just a few. So, what else do we got here? You know, as much as I love AC/DC, and as much as I love the Back in Black album, if I never heard the title track ever again, I would not be offended if I did. I would not be sad if I'd never heard Back in Black ever again. I'm sorry, folks. It's one that the radio station I interned for played a lot. And it's probably the one song on Back in Black that I'm actually sort of tired of hearing. I mean, You Shook Me All Night Long, Rock and Roll and Noise Pollution, Hell's Bells I'll never get tired of. there's some people I know of that are really tired of You Shook Me All Night Long, but for me it's the title track that I probably never need to hear again. What else? I'm kind of looking at my wall here for any reminders here. Here's an interesting one. Anyone who watches my channel knows that I am a huge Led Zeppelin fan, that I'm a John Bonham disciple. I love Zeppelin. I love Zeppelin to death. A great catalog of albums and songs that they left behind after their breakup in 1980. I love Zeppelin 4. I think it's one of the greatest albums of all time. I never need to hear rock and roll ever again. Which is sad, because John Bonham's drum fill ending to end that song is legendary. It's just, I've heard it on the radio so many times. Every cover band I have ever seen has played that song either as an intro or an encore. Which, I just ask you, if you're in a cover band watching this, can you please cover I'd much rather you cover Stairway to Heaven than cover rock and roll. Rock and roll is just overdone by both cover bands and radio. I'm sorry. I used to love it, and now that's probably one of my least favorite Led Zeppelin songs now, because I've heard it so many times. And like I said, unfortunately, it's one of John Bonham's signature drum fills at the end of it. But if I never heard rock and roll again, I would not care one way or the other, which is sad because I love Zeppelin 4. But moving on to the Rolling Stones here. Start Me Up. I love Tattoo You. I think it's a great album. Start Me Up is a song I'm starting to get tired of. Just overplayed to death. Sorry, and like I said, a legendary song. Bruce Springsteen, and love Springsteen. If I never heard Glory Days, or Born in the USA again, I would not be sad. Sorry. Just overplayed to death and heard it so many times. Moving on to Jen Mellencamp here. If I never heard Jack and Diane ever again, I would not lose sleep over it. I never need to hear Jack and Diane again. Which again is sad, because I think American Fool is a great album, and I like John Mellencamp quite a bit. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of him, but I like him quite a bit, and I like his early albums. But really, Jack and Diane, I just can't. Which is sad, because he's got another great drum break in it with Kenny Aronoff, But again, just overplayed. I probably never need to hear Jack and Diane ever again. Which is sad, again, because it's a legendary song. If I'm gonna go listen to American Fool, I'm probably gonna go listen to Hurt So Good or China Girl or any of the other tunes on that album. What else? David Bowie. Love David Bowie to death. Love the Young Americans album. I'm starting to get tired of Fame. It just doesn't do it for me anymore. I'm sorry. It just doesn't do it. Okay, here's one that's a little bit more recent. That especially another Chicagoland radio station, I'm not going to name it, plays it a lot. And this is just and this band. This is actually a new song that a recent singer from this band. I've got nothing against the Head and the Heart, but Misconnection, I am sick of hearing. This radio station just overplays the crap out of this song. It's insane. I hear that song literally every 2 hours when I listen to this radio station, and it's a great station. But please, Stop playing Misconnection by the Head and the Heart. Oh my god, my ears. And I've got nothing against the Head and the Heart. I think they're a pretty good band, but really, I never need to hear Misconnection ever again. Okay, yeah. There are more, I'm sure, that I forgot to rattle off in this video, but please feel free to leave your overplayed songs you never need to hear again in the comments section below. Like I said, this is just my opinion. I didn't prepare this or anything like that, but please go ahead by any means. Yeah, stay tuned for more stuff in the future. We'll see you guys later.